New York builds a very tough character and tough skin.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know the saying, if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's a really true saying, because if your skin is not tough, you can't make it in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Coming up as a DJ, as an MC, everybody's competing against each other. So you build this attitude of being the greatest. And if you don't have that mindset, you're in trouble. You can't be out there saying, I'm good. No, I'm not good. I'm great. And say that to yourself every day. Coming from New York, coming from where we came from. We came from a place of competitors, really good competitors. And you had to be the best to come out of New York. Right? So that's my whole mentality and my vibe. And back in the days, I had a very you had to be aggressive. You had to show them that you're here and you're here for a reason and you're here to stay. Your presence. So that attitude kind of stayed with me for a while. But as I grew up and I grew in the industry and I started doing a lot of different things, meeting a lot of different people, quote unquote, got a little corporate, you know, because the money changes a little bit and it all depends on where you are and who you meet, and certain things that you say can reflect on future work. So you have to be very careful about how you go about doing things as you grow.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ BuzzB, and from the time you hear the voice, you know it's only up from here. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the most special episodes we are ever going to have on this podcast. Now, it's extra special because this man right here came to me mid-2024 and said, BuzzB, we have to do this podcast. And we have tried to do it about 3 different times.
Yeah,
but
man.
After the craziness that happened last night, this is the story of how BuzzB saved Tony X's life. Okay. Here in the beautiful St. Kitts on the road. It's amazing we do this podcast today. Now, before we introduce our special guests, you know, people, this is a extremely important one. And this is who I consider my favorite MC's favorite MC. When I started in this game, you know, 2 of my favorites that I always said that I had was Back to Basic and Barry Hype as MCs. And then as I started to go out a lot more in the international circuit, I started to hear you with Back to Basics. And at first, you know, the change is a bit different when you're used to something so much. So I was used to basics. But at first I said, okay, yeah, he good. Then the next fight I heard you, I said, no, wait, this guy is amazing. And I don't know if you remember, but on Uber Soca, I came and I said, yo, I heard about you before, but after your set that you just put down today, I took out my notes and I was studying what you were doing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the best MCs in the world joining us today on this podcast, and he has a long history in the soca industry. Welcoming none other than the world famous Tony X.
I need to get that intro, like, so when I go on stage. Somebody needs to do that. We need to record that.
We got it. I got you. I'll make sure that's recorded. I got you. Bro, I want to say first and foremost, you know, I've seen you on many stages.
Yeah, man.
And the presence that you have up there is unmatched. You know what I'm saying? Your voice is a presence when you get up there, and not only your voice, but you as a person. But you know, that big, bold Tony that we see on stage, did you start like that, or was it a different starting for you?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say I started like that, because everybody always starts off somewhere where you're not really that good at what you do yet, but you're still in a learning phase.
Facts.
And as you gradually, continuously keep doing it, you obviously get better at it. You know what I mean? So I've learned how to harness what it is that I have, which is basically my voice, and learn how to kind of just make money doing it and turn it into a career.
And that's one thing I truly appreciate about you, because, you know, the average MC will just take a quick piece of change just to get a quick gig. But you have an entire business sculpted around what you do. One thing I learned about you recently I want you to share is, I didn't even know back in the day you used to DJ, and like, girl DJ.
I actually had a lot of hair too.
Oh.
Yeah, my hair was probably down to my back when I cut it. And because I always come from a place of DJing first. I'm a DJ first before I MC. So a lot of times I'll be working with someone and there's certain things that I feel like he should play, and I'll be like, hey, we need to play this. And then when I look on the screen, he's already putting that song together. So I'm always thinking like a DJ.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I used to DJ a very long time ago.
And how was your progression progression in that and doing that as a DJ?
It was something that was working for a while. At that point of my life, it was working for me. But then I had my little cousin at the time. He was shout out to Kevin. He was behind me to learn. He wanted to be a part of what it is that we was doing, and I was like, all right, whatever, man. Wait, can we cuss on this?
Yeah, I'll beep it.
Yeah, so he was like, you know, I need to learn, and I kind of taught him how to. Back in them days, we was playing CDs. I kind of taught him how to play on CDs, and he kind of took a lead into DJing and becoming my DJ. So I kind of took a backseat and started MCing. Yeah. Around that time as well, we also got on the radio. Yeah, okay. So I started doing more talking than DJing. So then I started like, okay, I guess I could probably work this and try to see if I could start a lane doing this. Yeah.
And I know you have trailblazed that lane. And when I see you out there, you know, obviously we have the big name DJs as presence in the industry and in certain spaces like FETs, the bands and whatnot. Yeah. But you have made yourself like a very prominent position in this market. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's not only off of what you do on stage, but like, for instance, here in St. Kitts, we're in the beautiful St. Kitts for Sugar Mass. It's New Year's. It's amazing we're even here doing this. Yeah. But I've seen you in a different space now. Yeah. And the way you just interact behind the scenes, that's a whole nother layer on top of what you do on stage. You know, it's important. And talk about that, like the networking aspect, meeting these people. And
definitely, man, because like a lot of what we do, especially now, we're in a different generation and a different time now. Sometimes there's a lot of guys that actually get work and are not that talented. Yeah. And you would see them and be like, why is he on this party? Yeah. Why is he even, how did he work here? But it boils down to who you know. Facts. You know, so it plays a major part in being inside of this industry. It's a lot of who you know and the who's, and it's all about networking and meeting people. Anywhere you go, there's gonna be someone that you know that could probably introduce you to two other people that don't know you. Facts. And even when someone see you or see what it is that you do, they'll probably fall in love with you, and then you have a brand new fan. You start a brand new market somewhere else new. And you just build off of that. Yeah,
and it goes a lot with this international circuit because you're one of the few, and I would say because the industry is so huge. Yeah. When you're talking like the locals and all the DJs and MCs, it's a huge market, but you're one of the few in it that really tore the circuit. Yeah. Talk about like the early stages of that. I know we just spoke on networking, but talk about like the early grind, the compromises you had to make.
Well, it wasn't, I wouldn't say so much compromise, because back then when we had a group together, it was called Natural Freaks. Yeah. I was kind of like the face of that brand. And back then is when I used to DJ. I was used to talk while I'm DJing. Yeah. So I took a backseat to it. I had a couple of DJs that came in with me, my cousin, of course, and a kid named Sculpted. He was also one of my DJs as well. And when we transitioned into me coming out of that group, I basically went solo. Okay. But I wasn't DJing, I was an MC. And back to basics, shout out to Ricardo, because at that point, Ricardo saw what it is that I wanted to do, which was travel, because I just wanted to get out of New York and do something different. And at that time, he was heavy, like this dude was heavy into traveling way before any other DJ that you see out here was doing it, Ricardo was doing it. So a lot of those trips that Ricardo was on, he literally just used to call me and say, hey, I'm going to Jamaica, I'm going here, I'm going here. If you have the time, you should come on that trip with me. Just buy the ticket and I got you. Wow. So, you know, like he would make sure that the promoters would probably get me a room or whatever. And the gigs that he was doing, he would start off, and then half an hour before it set end, he would hand me the mic. And I walk on the stage. So now everybody's like, who the hell is this kid? Yeah. So eventually from there, I started building my little thing with him. That's how we started in the earlies, more me and him. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Working together.
Now that you guys have definitely stamped your name in this as like extreme duo when it comes to you two on that stage, and we've seen you in timeless acts, like wearing the same outfits. Yeah. You know what I mean? And one in particular I want you to talk about. I don't know if this is your favorite or not, but that moment I believe in St. Lucia, when they made everybody take off their shoes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
When I said shoes, we're going in the sky. Take off your shoe and wave it. Press play button.
I said that was nasty as hell, but Tony's a genius. That looked amazing.
Okay, so I actually got that from Skinny. Big up my boy Skinny. See, there's a fet in St. Vincent called H2O.
Okay.
And at that time, I don't know what song. I think it was The Danger.
Yeah.
At that time, and Skinny came on, and Problem came on, and I just remembered everybody's shoes went up in the air.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell Skinny did or what he said. I can't remember. And I was like, this is amazing. And I'm like, I wonder if I could pull this off. Yeah. You know? And yet again, it's all about timing.
Yeah.
Everything is about timing. Sometimes there's certain things that I do, like that whole shoe situation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go do it somewhere else. Or sometimes the places are not right. The timing isn't right.
Exactly.
But at a Juve Fest,
Yeah.
when all hell breaks loose and it's just bare chaos,
Yeah.
you can get away with like that.
And bro, that scene,
Yeah.
when I saw that on Instagram that day, I said, boy, Tony's a beast. That was crazy.
It's bad because now when I go to St. Lucia, they're calling me shoes. And and I can't go on this stage without people saying shoes. And they want, like, it's, guys, I'm not doing the shoe situation. I'm over it.
So something I want to touch on there is, you know, you just said you heard Skinny do something. Mm-hmm. But talk about, you know, taking a piece of that and making it your own.
Yeah.
That transition, because some people will just verbatim take your words. And
yeah, I've seen it done a lot, but I don't have a problem with anybody because we all learn from somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I used to watch guys like Junior. Shout out to Red Solo from a group called Foreign Base back in the days in New York, and he was awesome, one of mine, awesome, you know. And I saw what he was doing, and I was like, wow, this is, I think I can do that, you know what I mean? But I took my own personality and my own style of how it is that I do things. Like you might say something and I might say the same thing, but it'll sound different. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
you know? So we all learn from somebody. Yeah. And there's people that take what I say, but they try to do it exactly the way that I do it. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't feel right. Right. Because that's not you.
Exactly, yeah.
That's me.
It's your personality.
Yeah, so you have to be careful about when it comes to doing stuff like that. If you know what I'm talking about.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking about that, you know, it's the beginning of 2025. Brand new year, as I said, we're here in the beautiful St. Kitts. Big up Luxe Band and the whole team that brought us here. But one thing I want to, you know, Tony X is known as somebody very provocative on the microphone. And one thing I appreciated, you know, we never really got to connect, as I said before in this industry. We may have seen each other bounce and keep moving, but this opportunity we had, what I saw from you and what I want to show the world is growth. You know what I'm saying? Because we were in those car rides going home. Yeah. And you were saying, boy, I had the mic. And old Tony X would have said this. Yeah. But you know, I'm doing some growing up. It's a new year. Let me cool myself. Yeah. Talk about like where you were and why you decided to grow up with that.
Where I were and coming from the era that I came from in New York. Mm-hmm. New York builds very tough character and tough skin. Facts. Right? Yeah. So it's like, you know the saying, if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere? That's a really true saying, because if your skin is not tough, you can't make it in Brooklyn. Yep. Coming up as a DJ, as an MC, everybody's competing against each other. So you build this attitude of being the greatest. And if you don't have that mindset, you're in trouble. You can't be out there saying, I'm good. No, I'm not good. I'm great. Yeah. And say that to yourself every day. Coming from New York, coming from where we came from. Yeah. We came from a place of competitors, really good competitors. And you had to be the best to come out of New York. Yeah. Right? So that's my whole mentality and my vibe. And back in the days, I had a very you had to be aggressive. You had to show them that you're here and you're here for a reason and you're here to stay. Your presence. So that attitude kind of stayed with me for a while. But as I grew up and I grew in the industry and I started doing a lot of different things, meeting a lot of different people, quote unquote, got a little corporate, you know, because the money changes a little bit and it all depends on where you are and who you meet, and certain things that you say can reflect on future work. Yeah. So you have to be very careful about how you go about doing things as you grow.
Yeah. No, facts. And That's a big gem, because people feel they can act how they want, say what they want, no matter where they are.
Yeah.
And then when you do reach the corporate field now, that same guy you may have pissed off might be the nephew of the CEO. And so it's very important. I know, like, there's a time and place too. Because we see just the other day in the huge Vibes Cartel show, how some of them artists were bashing the promoter right on stage.
Yeah.
Right? And that whole bacchanal.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for everything.
Time and place.
Yeah, and the corporate arena is very important if you're trying to grow in this. You need capital to build something.
Correct.
Of substance.
Correct.
Now, going through the years, as you mentioned earlier, you heard a lot of people, and that helped grow your charisma, I take it? Well, like, you already had it, but it helped tweak you on the mic.
Yeah, you know, it's just kind of like just doing different things.
Yeah.
Doing different things and getting in bigger arenas.
Yeah.
Kind of changed the way that I view certain things.
Yeah.
That I say.
Yeah.
And like going back to what I just said, it's very integral with the things that you say and how you say it.
Yeah.
You understand? So that helped me grow a lot too, as a person.
Yeah.
And you realize that sometimes you gotta change. You're not all the time you're gonna remain that same childish dude that like to cuss people up on the microphone.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, change come with growth.
No, absolutely. And one very big thing you said was, you know, an understanding of what to say on the mic. And for the MCs out there and aspiring MCs, this is going to be a huge one. I want to get into a more technical question.
Okay.
Because you are somebody, people like you, I've seen do this, very hype, Rego. You guys will make a point, if the mic is off, to tell the engineer specific things, to tweak it to get your voice right.
Yeah.
Talk about the whole science behind that, and you having knowledge to tell an engineer, bro, please turn this up.
Yet again, this is your job. This is my career. So if, like anything, you are a DJ, and say you get to work, but you wanted a certain controller that you're really comfortable with, and you get there and it's not there, and then you sound in a kind of way you're not feeling comfortable. The people are now saying, "The hell is BuzzB doing?" What, you know what I mean? So if I'm talking on a microphone and I don't hear myself, and I'm screaming and I don't hear myself, probably gonna lose my voice. Why am I going through that for? So you just simply, all you have to do is just turn the music off and talk politely to the engineer, because engineers don't really like when you loud them up, because they come like you're embarrassing them.
Right.
So you just talk normal, you be polite, and you just ask them, hey, can you just just tweak the mic for me real quick, or even turn it up. That's all. Because once you can hear yourself, you don't need to scream. You understand?
And then on top of that, with you going to these carnivals with 10, 20, 30 shows, because you're a man that has them kind of number of shows, you can't be straining your voice going from one to the next.
Yes, correct is right.
If that volume is low, that's exactly what you're doing, straining your voice.
Correct.
Trying to scream over that music.
Correct. So just make sure that they tweak, make sure that you sound the best of your abilities. Make sure you sound as good as the DJ.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go.
Now, one thing you told me yesterday when we were speaking, you've been doing this since 13?
Since I was 13, yeah.
Jeez. I won't say how young he is today, but
we ain't going to that. But it's been a while. I've been DJing for a very long time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And not many people have that kind of longevity in this industry, especially as an MC, you know? Now, in terms of the business aspect of things, I gave you your ratings on that earlier. I see how you move, and the business has to be right.
Yeah.
What are certain fundamentals that you would suggest to everybody out there, especially those MCs that have to now set a rate? You know, from the intermediate stage, the beginning stage, to you're a big MC now.
You mean pricing?
Yeah, like how would you gauge that, or how would you present that to
well, it basically, well, it's gonna go on how well known you are, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone that's just starting, I don't think that you could tell someone that you want this amount of money.
Facts.
And people don't really know you.
Yeah.
So it's all about building a brand, first of all.
Yeah.
We in a social media era now where things are, you know, everybody, guys are working with videographers, the photographers, they're doing little different things that people can see exactly how you work. And at the end of the day, people talk. Everybody know in the industry, if someone is good, they'll tell everybody you're good.
Yeah, facts.
You don't have to continuously tell people you're good. People will tell people you're good. So word of mouth will probably go around, and just being popular at the end of the day would get you the price that you think that you're worth.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's very important too, because when you reach a certain point now, a lot of people like myself, I'm this kid from Scarborough in Toronto. I don't know nothing about any of this.
All right.
So as I would climb in the industry, I'd never had that big brothers per se to like say, okay, well, no, you're here now, so this is what you need to be asking for. Or if you're going this country, this is what it is. When you reach a certain level, whether it be your own that you want to share or somebody even further than you that you've seen, what are things that people should aspire to now ask for? So like, I'm a starting DJ and I know I have to grind and work hard, or MC, and I'm at the point now where I'm getting the carnival. What are some things that you need to put in place as like fundamental things on your rider, on your contract, etc.?
When it comes to traveling, especially when you have to leave home, I would suggest that you let your bookings go through a manager.
Absolutely.
So that one, you don't really have direct contact with that promoter as far as you dealing with a lot of logistical stuff. It should be done through a management company, or one person should be handling your bookings when you have to leave home, because that way it'll make sure that regardless of what happens when you get to the show, you probably get all your money.
Exactly.
Because stuff is done on paper and it's contract.
Yeah.
Right? But just, I mean, it's a double-edged sword too, because it's like you can build relationship as well with people, and you become really cool with some promoters, and they just hire you off of the strength of you guys being cool. But then the fact that you're cool, you probably might not get the price that you know that you want to get from that person because you're cool. So it's weird, bro.
It's hard, and that's what I was gonna get into.
It's weird, and then not everybody. You're probably gonna charge the same price, because of your relationships with certain people. And you know what I mean? Like, this person has been hiring you for the past 5 years, regardless. You know, you're not gonna kill them with the price. So it depends on who the person is, it depends on where you go, and it depends on your popularity.
Exactly. So much nuance to it.
Yes.
And that's the important part I want people to know, because there's so many people wanting to be in this space, but they don't have the guidance to know how to navigate it. You know? Those things are pivotal, and especially when it comes to MCing, to see you do that on such a high level, you're like a gem in this, to be honest.
Yeah, man, respect, man.
There's not many that
I
do
appreciate that.
That's a big thing, and that's something I want to champion on this station. And one thing I realize is we need a lot more MCs, bro.
That's the thing. So the reason why I kind of pull back from DJing and realize that, okay, maybe I should concentrate more on talking, is because I realized back then, and it was 1 million of views and not a lot of me's. So we needed a little change, and I saw where I could have made that change. And I choose to go that route because I can practically work with anyone. And there's a lot of guys in the industry that I know that I'm really cool with, and each one of you guys have your own style. You know what I mean? You can't rate, you're not gonna rate certain people and be, oh my, this one is better than this one. People ask me all the time, who do you think is the best DJ? I'm not gonna answer that, because everybody literally have their own style and can do what they do really well, especially if you learn. If you continuously keep learning. So I can work with anybody, but the DJs have to just be a DJ. So that's why I come in.
You're versatile. I like it. I like it. Say Kids, right? We're here. We spent the New Year's here. It's the first year you're here, correct?
Yeah, first year.
So how was your vibe as we're here? Let's have that conversation.
Different. But good. Because coming into these small islands, you always have to keep an open mind when it comes to this. Like, I tried to listen to the music before I got here, and I'm like, okay, like, this is different. But when I got here, and then, we saw a performance, and we saw the DJs, and shout out to Tero. We saw the DJs and the people in the crowd reaction to the music, bro. It's incredible. it's just being on the ground and feeling it for yourself. You have to be here. You know,
that's a huge key.
Yeah.
If you want to be out in these international spaces, down to Trinidad, you need to be on the ground.
To be on the ground
in order to understand what the music did that year.
Yes.
Right? And there's been so many years I thought to myself, this tune is okay.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, it was the biggest thing on the planet.
Biggest thing.
And, you know, a big thing now that's a transition in the industry is not just soca music, but we now have the influence of bouillon and, you know, jab. These places like some of your favorite places, like I know one of your favorites is Grenada.
Correct.
One of your favorite places is Grenada. So with the influence of all those music, how do you keep up with it besides just going to the ground? Like you try the mixtapes?
Not the mixtapes, but I mean you just keep your ear to the ground, period.
Yeah.
Like I listen to a lot of those radio stations off time, like when I'm literally not doing nothing or I'm driving or whatever. Yeah. And I would tune into a station just to see what the vibe is, especially if Carnival is coming up.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of the newer music playing. Yeah. So now you start listening and you start to get a little ear and a little feel of what's really what you think that you could like.
How you could influence
it. Yeah. Yes.
And then it's important to learn the music too because you can bring talks to certain parts of the song.
So you listen to it over and over and over again, and then you know exactly what to say. If you don't know the song, when the DJ play it, I'm standing there like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You look crazy.
That's your strategy, is knowing the music and being able to have talking points.
Definitely. And the thing about it is I've been doing it for so long is that I have the experience of a lot of other MCs because I know music from way back when.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You can play anything and I probably have a fast knowledge of especially dancehall and soca.
Wicked.
Because that's how we grew up.
All right, now for the craziest part of this podcast. It's New Year's 2025. Would you guys believe? What? Do you want to tell the story or I tell the story? Me tell it?
Nah, you tell it.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of how BuzzB saved Tony X's life. Okay. We're here in New Year's in St. Kitts. We just came off the road yesterday, and we had about a kilometer's walk back to the car. So we're in traffic trying to walk back, and we see a pickup truck. So Hayes calls out to the pickup truck, "Hey, you can give me a ride?" So I say, "Nah, Hayes, you can't be serious. He wants us all to hop in the back of this pickup." So the man said, yeah, hop in, let's go. Hayes, hop in the back. I said, nah, we really doing this? Tony, hop on the back of the pickup. The rest of them hop on the back of the pickup. I said, nah. So they said, BuzzB, get this Toronto out of you. We in the islands, get this Toronto out of your system, come on. So I said, okay, all right. I put my bag on the truck now. Tony take out his phone to record me getting up on the truck.
BuzzB, get a late Caribbean in your fucking life. Jump on the truck now, boy.
Yeah, boss.
Everybody get a rock.
Real time. So I get up on the truck now, reach on top of the truck, sit down. Tony still have the phone out, recorded me. Next thing you know, truck man press gas, you know. But Tony don't have a good handle on it. So Tony go and fly back on this thing. I reach and I grab Tony's hand. I promise you it looked like the Titanic. Pause. And look, I'm holding on to Tony on the back of this car like this. Say, yo, he on the car for about a kilometer. 20 kilometers an hour, you know, this man's driving. BuzzB, oh God, BuzzB. You saved my life, BuzzB. Thank you, BuzzB. BuzzB, I owe you one, BuzzB. BuzzB, I had a dance in your wedding to save my life, BuzzB. That story.
True story,
first of all, goes down in history. And I'm happy we got to share, you know, this time here in St. Kitts. We never got the chance before, but this solidified, I think, us seeing each other in all these spaces and this journey we have going forward.
Yeah, man, for real.
I really appreciate what you do, my bro. I really do, and I want the people to take these stories as lessons and understand that, you know, you are in a special space in this industry, and what you have to share is of serious value.
Yeah.
So people need to take that. We need a lot more MCs, and that's speaking from a DJ that had to learn how to MC.
Right.
Because I just DJ'd.
Right.
But because we had such a lack of it, I literally had to just pick up the mic and do my thing.
Right.
And that was out of necessity. But people like you who have taken this on as a lifestyle, it's important to share your story, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
You.
Any last words for the people?
We gotta do it like we in St. Kitts.
Yeah, like I said, they cuss you if you don't do that, you know.
Last word, man. I don't even know, man. You guys want to get into this? Just take it serious, like anything else. Like anything something else. You wanna be good at something.
Yeah.
Learn, practice, learn from other people.
Yeah.
Don't think that you know it all, because I still am out here learning. I'm still out here meeting people and meeting challenges still, but still trying to be a better me. So just continuously keep learning.
Absolutely. And even too, out here, it was amazing that I think it was a point on the road you didn't even know it was me DJing.
Yeah.
And you were like, who's that up there? BuzzB? What? And you
Real
actually
talk.
heard like what I be doing out here
Real
now
talk, bro.
on a different level.
Real talk.
Like we coming out here, as you said, we studying this, you know? And that's what I'm spending last year I had a video up about it. Spend my money to come here to learn.
Right.
Now this year, they funded everything.
Yeah.
But I took that step to learn.
And I wanted to talk about that too, because there's nothing wrong with spending money to go somewhere else. It's kind of like you just invested in you, you know.
Exactly.
And nobody else is gonna spend that money and invest. You might as well do it if you want to learn.
Yeah.
Go, just go, spend the money, spend the bread, get your little hotel, and just go and study the people music.
Yeah.
You don't have to reach there and be on everybody party.
Yeah.
But you can also go and network and meet people.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is so and so. This is what I do, man. This is my first time here.
You never
Always
know.
wanted to come.
You never know.
You never know.
And it's that random person you're talking to could be the biggest promoter in whatever country.
That part.
And that's happened countless times. That's a big gem.
Correct.
You know, all of this, man, and it's a blessing. Like yesterday when we were doing our thing on the road, we went after the biggest thing on the island.
Biggest.
And still handled the road proper.
Yeah.
So what we do is, you know, of serious value in this industry, and we thank you guys for the support over the years on, you know, both Tony's career, my career, and everything. The Luxe team, everybody that's doing something, we appreciate you guys, and everybody that's attentive to what we do. So as we close out, let them know where they could find you.
Instagram, I am Tony Cross, of course. My Twitter, I don't like to give up my Twitter too much because I talk too much nonsense on there, and that's not me. That's the mind of Tony Cross, aka Tony X. So just find me on Instagram. I am Tony Cross.
Wicked, wicked, wicked. And if they want to book you, they have management info.
Well, the info is there on the Instagram. Once you click on it, there's booking info right there.
Perfect, my bro. I appreciate you so much.
Respect.
Thank you for this, ladies and gentlemen. That's been another episode, legendary episode of the Up From Here podcast with Tony Cross. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Oh, no, stay stable. Before we leave, my bad again, just quick. My bro, I got a present for you.
Oh, shit.
It's my brand in Toronto, Soca Heads. We got to get you at a party very soon.
Okay.
Soca Heads, got a Trinidad flag on it and the whole branding.
It's dope.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
Not a problem. Enjoy it. I'll see you wearing that in Trinidad. That's when we link again. Blessed.